This sounds like a no-brainer, but women are very different from men. They're created that way. But let's face it, those differences are the reason men are drawn to women. Women are more emotionally expressive, which means they appear to be more sensitive. They're not as big or as strong as a man, but they can also be very confusing to him, leaving him defenseless. In part, the differences are in her biology, but they're also because of the way girls are raised. Girls are treated very, very differently than boys. As soon as parents know that their baby is a girl, they start to use very different language to describe her. They talk about the sweet baby. She's so delicate. They may even refer to her as a princess. And the things they pick out for her nursery often include lots of pink stuff. Before she's even born, things are different for her, providing a foretaste of what lies ahead. The differences don't end there. Fast forward into toddlerhood. She's at the park, playing, having a good time with her friends. Suddenly, another child starts to pick on her. Now, it doesn't matter if that child is a boy or a girl or bigger or the same size or even smaller. That doesn't matter. Researchers have observed that most often the adult who is with her, whether it's mom, dad, grandparent, babysitter, whoever it is, that person will move quickly to rescue her from this invader of her princesshood. She gets lots of hugs and kisses and reassurance. She learns that her tears mean something. Her tears elicit help. That scene plays out differently for a little boy. When he encounters trouble, his guardian tends to pull back a bit. That adult will often wait to see what the boy does. If he approaches his guardian with a complaint about what's happening, he's more likely to hear, "What's the matter? Why are you crying?" Once he's justified his tears, he's asked, "What are you going to do about it?" In other words, he's expected to come up with and implement his own solutions. Boys are taught to look for answers. Girls are taught to look for help. Another huge difference is the way men and women learn to use language. Girls are encouraged from the beginning to do a lot of talking, a lot of sharing. Consequently, girls tend to score high on verbal skills. Fast forward to adulthood. Remember, she's been building verbal skills all her life. She knows how to express her feelings, and she's accustomed to getting a helpful response. Because he was taught the opposite, her mate will have a hard time knowing how to respond, much less how to win an argument with her. His tenderness toward the woman he loves causes him to hold back. He won't say or do what he might in another situation, such as with his brother or a friend. When it comes to verbal skills, he's outdone. His lack of responsiveness makes her feel like he doesn't care. Many times she will hammer on the wall between them, trying to engage him in the conversation. But to him, her words are a monologue. He doesn't believe his voice would matter anyway. And he may be right about that, because he would probably give her a solution, his solution, which won't work for her, because he doesn't even understand what the problem is, much less how to solve it from a female perspective. This puts a man in a tough position. Initially, he wants to help, but women speak in paragraphs and men listen in sentences. A woman can talk forever and ever and ever and never seem to get to the point. He's listening and he's always looking for the bottom line. What's the problem and what does she need? Especially if she's emotional. He wants to try to figure out what to do for her. She's obviously upset. I've got to figure out a solution to help her with whatever it is that's distressing her right now. But his strategy often backfires, which makes him hesitant to engage the next time. Instead, he learns to tune her out as much as he can. So, why doesn't his strategy work? Well, because she doesn't always want him to solve a problem. Yes, her training would seem to indicate that she's asking for his help, but sometimes she just wants to share her experience with the man she loves. To understand that, you need to take a look at how she develops friendships. Remember the girls in elementary school? She hung out on the playground with one friend, maybe two. They sat close together, talking, playing jacks, or writing with sidewalk chalk. Sometimes they'd play hopscotch or jump rope. Their games tended to be more social and less competitive, at least to the casual observer. Girls learn to build relationships by sharing how they feel. Girls know they have a friend because they share secrets with one another. They're talking, often whispering, frequently giggling. Girls learn that your best friend shares secrets with you. So she shares her feelings and secrets with you, hoping you will share too. When she asks, "What are you thinking about?" and you say nothing, it drives her crazy. Her experience tells her, "You've got to be thinking about something." "I never think about nothing. How could you not be thinking about anything?" It feels like you're stonewalling her. She doesn't know you've been taught to keep your feelings to yourself, to find solutions instead. However, your silence makes things worse, not better, because from her perspective, your silence means you're shutting her out. And she's starting to panic. "You're not my best friend, and I thought you were. I still want you to be my best friend. I don't understand." The final piece in these differences is her feelings. So much depends on how she feels. And let's face it, she has a lot of feelings that come and go quite quickly. With a little more knowledge and understanding, you can develop the masculine finesse of asking her what she wants from you. Now, I'm going to admit it's not easy, and it's certainly not obvious to a man. But I do promise it is simple. To get started, you can take a look at the Quick Start Guide to Understanding Women. It's a free resource I created just for men. I know you're still going to have questions, so remember, I'm here to help.